Venus in Gemini. So when Venus is the way we love, the way we conquer, the way we relate, the way we respond to our desires and our pleasures, it goes into Gemini. Gemini is being mutable, adaptable, and your own ways of thinking to communicate. So of course, when Venus is in Gemini, it's all about love, loving to communicate, loving to generate, loving to connect, loving to utilize this in your perspective. And of course, we're going to be breaking down the houses and we're going to be breaking down the signs when you got Venus and Gemini. Now, you're going to be adapting to your way of thinking and communicating. And of course, we also got the North Node in Gemini. So, of course, this is going to be more predicated towards your North Node, your spiritual purpose, your perspective. And of course, we're going to have, and we already got Mercury in Gemini. We already got Venus in Gemini. So, of course, this is going to be predicated towards what you're going to love to do when you're thinking about it, when you're communicating about it, and of course, when you're connecting with other people, places, and things about it on a day-to-day basis. That also, South Node is in Sagittarius. So things that you did in the past, previously, or people, places, and things that you was relating to or relying with, cut these people off. Because you're on a new node, you're on a new path. And of course, when the sun enters Gemini, this is going to be a new perspective, a new arena, a new algorithm when it comes to your brain and intellect. And of course, being mutable in your own ways of being able to adapt. Some people are going to be able to cope with this. Some people may not be able to cope with this. But of course, if you can cope better with this, and of course, you can actually weather the storm, you'll be able to actually receive what you're looking for. But of course, we're about to break it down in the houses. But if you got Venus and Gemini, this is being mutable and adaptable to your into loving your personality. So Gemini does pretty well here. But of course, when it comes to this position, you may be all over the place. You may overindulge into your personality when it comes to communication, and of course, when it comes to intellect, and of course, being mutable and adaptable. Try to find equilibrium and balance here, because balance is key when we got Venus in the spectrum. When you got Venus in the second house, you're going to be loving and being mutable and adaptable when it comes to the things that you value, whatever you have to offer to the world, and of course, a talent, a gift, or trait. Trying to find a mutable way where you can be able to actually utilize these perspectives, and of course, make sure these things don't be in a position where it's just throwing you off. And of course, you gotta learn how to find a new way with valuing your way of being presentable when it comes to the things that you truly appreciate and truly have to offer to the world. Venus in the third house, you're gonna be valuing and loving and being mutable when it comes down to your love matters, when it comes to your surroundings, the people, places, and things that you're familiar with, and the faces and criteria that you're familiar with on a day-to-day basis. Now, if you don't love your surroundings, now's the time to basically transform, and of course, dig into your North Node when it comes to this Venus and Gemini in your third house. Because we also got the new perspective here, so you got to develop your own way, your own criteria in doing things. Also, pay attention to your surroundings. Now, everybody needs to be or belong in your surroundings during this time. So be very kind, and be very aware of these things. Try not to be adapting to ways of other people's ways of doing things when it comes to your surroundings. You're supposed to take power and control over your surroundings. Nobody the fuck else. Venus and Gemini in the fourth house. You're going to be adaptable, mutable, and loving and caring when it comes to your private matters, your family, and your home. Try to find equilibrium and balance. You may be all over the place. And of course, try to communicate with family and friends that on people, places, and things that you're connected to or connected with in the house or in the household. Because of course, you ain't got nobody to connect to in your house, then you're going to be seen as the black sheep or separated from other people, places, and things and other peers. Try to put yourself in a position, in a circumstance, situation of not doing it. You need to find equilibrium and balance when it comes to your household. And of course, when it comes to the new perspective, you may have to communicate or do things in a new manner when you react and respond or communicate with your family. Everybody may not be on the same page or same level as you. You may have to split it up and be mutable in your own ways of actually interacting with them. But of course, don't put them to the side. They may just not be their time. But yeah, find equilibrium and balance there. Gemini, Venus and Gemini in the fifth house. You're going to be mutable and adaptable, and you're going to love the way you self-express yourself and be open and be out there. If there's something going on with your self-expression or the way you communicate or be expressive with your communications, You may have to switch it up and do things a little different now. This way, the way you present yourself and utilize your intellect, it could be in a more direct and a more mannerable way, not in a selfish, egotistical kind of manner. Try to put yourself in a position where you don't overindulge, because Gemini does pretty good in this position too. So yeah, try to find a way where you can actually relate to your surroundings and not just be looked at as somebody that's just want all the ego or the attention, and you're basically getting the wrong attention. You're gonna pick up jealousy. You're gonna pick up hate. You're gonna pick up people, places, things that's gonna be able to see through that shit. This ain't the time for that. Wait till the sun get into Gemini a little bit, then you can get away with that. But with the sun still in Taurus, everybody's fixated and stable with their actions, not with the way they think, not with the way they love. But of course, Venus and Gemini is here, so of course, love matters. They be a little chaotic at odds at times and shit, but of course, it's all about being fixated and developing your mutable perspectives. Venus and Gemini in the 6th house. You're going to be very mutable and adaptable when it comes to love matters, when it comes to things that you're paying attention to, schedule, routine, and find a new way on how to communicate and utilize intellect. It may not be very hard with this position, but you may be at war at times with yourself. Try not to do that. Try to put yourself in a perspective where, when it comes to your surroundings and the people, places, and things, and your work and your schedule, try to find new ways where you can develop communication with these people, and everything will be all right. Because you really can be all work and no play at times. But of course, you got to find ways where you can find ways to switch up and do things in a new perspective. Because the old ways and the old outdated ways of doing things and work-related perspectives, it may not be prone to this new Venus and Gemini, new constellation that we about to experience for about in 30 days. But actually not even 30 days, because motherfucking Gemini about to go on motherfucking Mercury retrograde on the 20 motherfucking 9th. So yeah, prepare. Just experience some shit that happened in the past, whether it's dealing with your house or a person, place, or thing. Prepare. Venus and Gemini in the 7th house. You're going to be very mutable and adaptable when it comes to your love matters, dealing with your relationships, or dealing with communication. Communication is going to be key when you're dealing with your relationships. Try to communicate and utilize intellect on connecting on a way where y'all can both have equilibrium and balance. Feel me? If y'all all over the place and chaotic and basically finding new ways to do things every time, and y'all know how to be mutable and adapt to y'all relationships, or adapt to the way y'all relate to things and partnerships in general, it can be very devastating at times. But of course, ain't nothing wrong with something new. Try to find ways where you can be adaptable and mutable and switch things up, feel me? Or just multitask at times, feel me? But of course, take your time. But hurry up. When it comes to Venus and Gemini in the 8th house, you're going to be very mutable and adaptable when it comes to your desires and the things that you deeply, truly go for, feel me? You may have to switch things up, transform the way you did, the way you was doing things previously. It's time to transform and do that. Try to be more mutable, more in a multitaskable way. Try to find ways to develop yourself and push yourself out there and be expressive, feel me? And everything will be all right. Venus and Gemini in the 9th house. You're gonna be loving new ways on how to. You're gonna be very loving and very mutable and very adaptable when it comes to ways on how to love, on philosophical point of views, expanding your horizon, and of course, communicating and connecting. Try to do this in a more adaptable, more mutable way with your air. Feel me? You may be all fire at times and shit, and you may be all philosophical at times and all work no play at times. Try to find an equilibrium and a balance here where you can basically utilize your intellect and be out there and be open and generous, people, places, and things, traveling or going above the seas or going above the horizon and shit. Try to find new ways on how to travel through the mind and travel externally, and everything will be all right. Venus and Gemini in the 10th house. When it comes to Venus and Gemini in the 10th house, it's going to be new ways on how to be lovable, adaptable when it comes to appreciation, when it comes to your status. Find new ways on how to communicate and think about your status or relate this to other people, places, and things. Communication is key. So if y'all not communicating when y'all talking business and shit like that, if y'all just doing things and not communicating, y'all just too stuck and stubborn into motherfucking Venus and Taurus, the motherfucker, it's not going to work. Feel me? You're going to have the right keys, but of course, the locks is going to change. So you're going to need to learn how to lock shit up and switch shit up and get on the motherfucking grain. And everything will be all right. Venus and Gemini in the 11th house. You're gonna be very mutable and adaptable when it comes to your surroundings and the people, places, and things that you're associating yourself with. Try to find new ways on how to be mutable and adaptable. Try not to be too fixated and too stubborn in your own ways of being communicative with your motherfucking associates. Feel me? Try to find new ways on how to do these things, and everything will be alright. Now, if you two still stuck into the fixated position, things ain't gonna really be moving. Feel me? You want to be mutable. You want to be moving. You want to have many things to do when it comes to your associates and the way you utilize your intellect. You don't want to be stuck in one position. Learn how to move around and get shit popping. Venus and Gemini in the 11th house. 12th house, last but not least. You're going to be very mutable and loving and caring when it comes to your dreams, your imagination, your fantasy. You're going to find new ways on how to be mutable and thoughtful about these dreams, and adding a criteria where you can find a different personality when expressing your dreams. Try to find equilibrium and the balance and everything, and basically go into your perspective. Real shit. Aries Sun, you're going to have opportunities to initiate new ways on how to feel and see about expressing the way you think and communicate. Moon Aries, you're going to be receiving this. Taurus, you're going to be seeing the other side of you when it comes to utilizing communication, intellect, and of course, utilizing your ways on how to be practical. Moon and Taurus, you're going to be receiving this. Gemini Sun, you're going to be the prime example on what it is or what it's like to be when it is to be mutable with your ways of thinking and being communicative and multitasking and utilizing many different perspectives on how to interact with people. Moon and Gemini, you're going to be receiving that backlash because you shot it out with your sun. Now you're going to receive it with your moon, your mother, your macabre, your waters. Cancers, you're going to be seeing the other side when it comes to loving and nurturing and caring, when it comes to communicating with your feelings and emotions. You have a different way of communicating with these things. You don't utilize air, intellect. You utilize your feelings and emotions. Try not to get too lost into the past during this time. But yeah. Venus. Oh yeah, Cancer. Not Cancer. Leo, you're going to have opportunities to be self-centered stage when it comes to associating yourself and being loving and caring during this time. Also, Moon and Leo, you're going to be receiving these energies. Virgo, you need to learn how to be mutable with the way you think and communicate during this time. Even though you're ruled by Mercury, but you're going to have conflict. You're going to be going through squares because you love to do things in a routine, schedulable way. But when other people switching things up every day and every now and then, you're going to be kind of a little nervous and a little worried about this shit. Wait, hold on, why are we doing this way? We're supposed to be doing it this way. You're going to be basically at war, at odds at sometimes. But try to be calm, cool, and collective. Moon and Virgo, you're going to be receiving this. Libras, you're going to have a gift to communicate and initiate new ways on how to think and communicate and be mutable and loving and caring. Moon and Libras, you're going to be receiving this energies. Scorpios, you're going to be dealing with misunderstandings when it comes to thinking and communication during this time. Maybe all over the place and maybe at odds because you're fixated. Try to find ways on trying not to be looked at as alienated or misunderstood when expressing yourself. Moon and Scorpios, you're going to be receiving this. Sagittarius Sun, you're going to be basically dealing with opposition when it comes to thinking and communication and utilizing intellect. You may be at odds when it comes to expressing yourself because, of course, we're about to be in Gemini season, so you're going to be at opposition. Moon and Gemini, you're going to be receiving this energy. Also, for our Capricorn Suns, you're going to be basically being seen misunderstood when it comes to expressing yourself. Because you're very cardinal, but you love to take your time. But if you're all over the place, you're going to seem frustrated and very angry. So try to find equilibrium and balance. Try to take things one at a time. Moon and Capricorn, you're going to be receiving this energy. Motherfucking Aquarius, you're going to have a gift to utilize your uniqueness and originality in the way you think and communicate. It may not be very hard for you to utilize this perspective, but of course, you're fixed fire. AKA you're fixed air, so you like to be fixated in your own ways of thinking and being practical. Of course, you're the other side of Saturn. So you're going to have a gift, a trine. So use this gift. Don't fuck it up. Talk, express yourself. Get out there. Be unique and original. Last but not least, Pisces, you're going to be dealing with learning processes. You're going to be all over the place. You're going to be curious about this, curious about that and shit. And it's going to be very hard for you to basically cope with this shit because you don't know which one you're going to be good at. You can be good at all, but of course, you need something that's going to be able to be very entertaining. So try to utilize the other side of Sagittarius, blend these up together, and you can come up with a 3, which would be a motherfucking Gemini. Cope your ways with how to be thoughtful and communicative during this time, and try not to be too imaginary. positive during this time. When the Pisces, you're going to be picking up this backlash. I love y'all. Y'all stay focused and committed.